So welcome back, everybody. I am excited about bringing on my next guest who says that she is going to change your life. My next guest is Ronda Robbins. She's the co-author of the book Empowerment Principles A to Z, Be Your Greatest Self, Powerful and Fully Self-Expressed. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You got to tell me.
It's so exciting.
It is exciting.
It's very exciting. This book is literally going to transform people's lives. It's going to change their lives in 10 minutes or less a day.
Wow, isn't that exciting? Now, you've got a co-author as well. She's not here with you. It's Andrea
Andrea Zavazlak. She's my co-author. She's actually in Bahrain. She's on deployment. And she's there right now, and she would love to be here, but she's not.
Okay.
So we'll have to change people's lives through radio.
Okay, let's do that. Let me ask you about this book. Why do you say that it's going to change people's life in 10 minutes?
Well, because there are a couple of kind of books out there. There are the really great personal development ones, which are, you know, heavy reading, dig in. You've got to, they're kind of complex and maybe even clinical, and you have to really kind of sift through to get the principle. And then there are these little fluffy things, I like to call them. They're great. They're affirmations, they're good quotes, a little quick story. But there's nothing that really bridges the gap between the two of them. And I think this does it, and it does it in a quick, powerful, succinct way. You get a principle, and then following that is a coaching moment, which is either some kind of an exercise, get out a piece of paper, draw a circle, put lines down, do this, do that, or it's just a series of provocative questions that really lead you on to this self-exploration and self-discovery that you're looking for to make your life better, unhook limiting beliefs, and live fully expressed.
You said that even a 13-year-old got it.
I was amazed. We did a focus group because I really wanted to be sure this is the best book. It'll really do its job, get results, do this. And so I put it out there for people to be part of the focus group. And unbeknownst to me, one of the participants was a 13-year-old, and she was in Australia. And when I realized she was 13, I thought, there's no way she's going to get this. This is like too much over the head. I got back her response from the focus group inquiry, and I was completely blown away. I just was. I was just like, oh my God, she just so got this. She said to me, she said, crazy maker in my head, oh my gosh, I've got that going on all of the time, and now I know what to do about it. She said, I want to give this to all of my friends and have them know how to deal with it. And then the other thing she said to me, which was really amazing and powerful, because the question on there said, who do you think's the best target for this book? And she said, teenagers and people in their early 20s, because they're making important life decisions.
Well, let me say this to that. Aren't we all?
Yes, we all are.
We all are.
And I was amazed that a 13-year-old got it. So for me, I would say anyone who is 13, 14, 15 or over can get something very powerful from this book.
Within 10 minutes.
Within 10 minutes.
You can get this book at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, all sorts of places. Also your website, which is Empowerment Principles A to Z.com. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to open up the lines to the audience. In 10 minutes, you can change your life. And our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Everyone who's calling in is going to get an entered in to win a signed autographed copy of the book. So call us here at 602-277-5369, and toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Okay, you said that you wanted to make this book simple and fun.
I did.
Okay.
Actually, my co-author and I are both the same personality type. We're both these very happy, bubbly kind of people, and we like to have fun. And so I remember the day that we were talking about, we'd both become certified coaches, and so we were talking about how can we be the best coaches, how can we reach people, how can we be effective. And so we thought, you know, let's reach the most people with the book. And so we came up with this idea to write this book A to Z. I was in the car and we were writing down these crazy titles, one for A, one for B. So there's 26 topics, and each topic is a letter of the alphabet, hence the name, Empowerment Principles A to Z. And so each one is the topic, and so we had some crazy titles. I should probably put that up on the blog, some of the first titles we had. They didn't end up being some of the end titles, but they were some of the first ones. But we do have titles like Xena, Princess Warrior. What can you learn from Xena? We do have Time Travel, TARDIS, and Doctor Who. We've got Doctor Who, we've got a thing with, Captain Kirk, bananas, weeds in your garden. So it's taking these very complex principles and making them very fun and simple in 3 to 10 pages.
I love that about the book because it's 3 to 10 pages, and I actually do something every morning to help myself, empower myself. And I know a lot of people out there are doing that now. It's all new. And sometimes it's just nice to be able to just read something really fast, get it, and just go, wow, that's awesome, and work with it and move on.
Yeah, even my sister, she says, now I think about how to empower myself every day with my language and what I'm doing. And what we do recommend is you read it, it kind of plants a seed in your head for the day. You read the coaching questions, you kind of think about that. And then we recommend that even if you don't have time right then to do the coaching exercise or to do the questions, that you do them within 24 hours so you can apply that to your life so you can get that power and transformation that you're looking for.
Okay, so I love the way you put it. It's coaching moments.
Yes.
Okay.
They're self-coaching moments. You don't need me. Just buy the book. You can coach yourself. And this is pretty ideal. I was thinking about this as I was driving over here. A lot of people resist going to coaching or counseling or other groups because all of those people unveil you. You have to open up to people that you don't know. You have to do these things that are uncomfortable for you. This book, you do it yourself in the quietness of your own home, in your own mind, at your own time, at your own pace.
Do you find that women tend to resonate with this, or is it both? Are you getting feedback from both men and women?
I've gotten feedback from both men and women. I had both in the focus group, and actually my friend Greg, he came over one day because we were going to work on a website, and he saw one of the prototype books that I was actually editing, and he goes, "I'm taking this home." And I said, "Okay." And I had, no idea what he might do with it. And so next day he's blowing up my mobile phone with these texts. He goes, "Oh my gosh, the thing on the colors is so amazing. This is incredible. This is succinct. This is life transforming." And I'm like, "You mean zazzy zigzag zebras?" And he goes, "Yes, yes." And he's a taxi cab driver. So what he's done with this, he actually now he's got an understanding of we wear colors, how we feel. We decorate our homes with how we feel, and the colors that we use actually have an impact on us, as well as we choose things that are about us.
Okay.
And so people get into his taxi now, and he knows right away if they're open or closed or how they are. One woman got into his car, and she was a pretty woman wearing pink. And he said, "Oh, aren't you beautiful?" And he just sensed immediately she was open because she was wearing pink. And so they got into this really nice conversation about how she was a bartender at a restaurant or someplace, and every year she does this customer appreciation day where she buys everybody a round of drinks just to show how much she appreciates them. But he's using this actually as nonverbal communication skills to alert him to who's getting into his cab.
Isn't it amazing? Now you do coaching.
I do coaching.
Okay, and on your website actually people can even ask you questions as well.
Absolutely.
Now the website is empowermentprinciplesa-to-z.com, and you can get the book there. You can go to Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, but we've got our lines open here, and everybody who's calling in, you're getting entered in to win a book. So it's a signed autograph copy. It's Empowerment Principles A to Z. Be your greatest self, powerful and fully self-expressed. Give us a call here at 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Each chapter, each letter from A to Z is about 3 pages or more, a couple more.
3 to 10.
3 to 10 pages, and you'll know in 10 minutes how to change your life. She said she can do that.
Absolutely. It's not going to be available on Amazon until probably the middle of next month, but you can go to the website and you can pre-order your copy today.
Again, that's empowermentprinciplesa-to-z.com. We're going to go to a break. We're going to come back further. We're going to talk a little bit more about the book and some of the different areas that it covers. Again, our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Everyone who's calling in, man, woman, 13 on up, you're going to love this and change your life in 10 days. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Get a copy, entered in to win a copy of the book. So we're talking with Ronda Robbins as the co-author of Empowerment Principles A to Z. Be your greatest self, powerful and fully self-expressed. This is something that anybody can get something out within 10 minutes. It's not just for women, it's for men as well. It's also for teenagers 13 years old and up. And we have our lines open here for everybody to get entered in to win a copy of it, a signed autograph copy. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. You can go on the website and even ask coaching questions. She will do that with you as well. And she's all about getting just right to the point, done, simple, and easy and fun. So you can check it out at empowermentprinciplesaToZ.com or call here at 602-277-5369. Okay, when we were at the break, I said I want to talk about some of the points about the book that make it so easy. Some of your favorite chapters are.
Well, it's interesting because my friend Jerry just asked me that the other day. He said, so what's your favorite chapter? And I went, well, the politically correct answer, of course, is all of them, because they're all important. Some are a little bit heavier duty than others because you're dealing with really big principles like responsibility, or how do I know the difference between help, harm, and hurt? There's a big difference. Do we know the difference? And really, the one of the fun questions for me really was elephants in the living room. And I kind of like that one because I wrote it very intensely. It's got a lot of drama in the beginning. It's like, the elephant's in the living room. You can't breathe. You can't walk. You can't move. And it's like, we all have elephants in our living room. We all have these.
Every time my ex walks in. No. Can't see that. Go ahead.
Every time, we look at these things. We have these huge things that we don't want to face. We're in complete denial about them. And so by using something like, there's this elephant in the living room, you can't breathe, you can't walk, what are you going to do? These things are here. It's like using things that we are familiar with to make the point to get you to really self-inquire what's important.
Well, I'm going to give an example because that's what I do. I'm assuming that if somebody they don't like their job and they walk into that room, which would be their office, that becomes the elephant in your room. Is that correct?
Exactly. I mean, there are so many things that do that. One of the focus group members, David, he said that the elephants in the living room is like his favorite chapter ever because he said that it's helping him. He lists what his elephants are, and then he starts saying, how do I want to address these? What do I want to do about these? How do I want to shift or transform these? And luckily for you, chapter A is about affirmations, which helps you figure out how to shift things. And that's another important point about the book is the chapters aren't like you don't have to start at A and you don't have to read all the way through to Z. You just pick it up anywhere, open it to any chapter, short, simple, to the point, quick, easy to read. Another fun chapter for me was the philosophy of struggle, and that one is about the mindset of abundance versus the mindset of scarcity and poverty. And even though in my head intellectually I kept going on, I believe in abundance, I had these little self-running programs in my head constantly that were limiting me, so that while I'm speaking about the belief in abundance, inside of my head I've got these programs running which are saying, no, you can't do that, that costs too much money, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And so it's really about how are you going to unhook these things and how are you going to live powerfully.
Okay, so within the chapters, and I'm not sure whether or not it's at the end of the chapters or what, you'll have to tell me, does it have ideas?
Yes.
That's really important because I know, it's great to see it and go, wow, that's awesome, and it hits you, but then what? We start moving on our day and we don't do. Go ahead.
Right, exactly. That's what the coaching moments are exactly designed for. And when Andrea and I started developing this book 4 years ago, it's taken us a while to really make sure we've got the best product that'll do the job, that'll get the work done, that'll get you transformed and living the life that you're passionate about. We wrote the topic, and then I said, it's great that we wrote the topic. It needs something more. It needs some interaction. It needs something that actually coaches you. And so that's what the self-coaching moments are all about. In fact, many of the focus group members said that the coaching moments were the best because you got the principle, you got the little stories inside of there, the clients, testimonials or whatever, the case studies, but then you drill down and there's that coaching moment where you're asking yourself those direct questions. How are you going to do this? Have you identified that? Have you thought about this? I was talking to one of the persons, and she said, I never really thought about how I identify myself, who I really am, who I've become, and why am I this way? I never even thought about that till I read the chapter on I, Identify Yourself.
That's awesome. Now, you can get the book, well, soon on Amazon.com. You also said that soon it's going to be in tape form. So
it'll be in Kindle and audiobook. It'll be available. It's available for pre-order right now from the website.
And again, that website is Empowerment Principles, with an S, A to Z.com. And again, you can also ask her some coaching questions right there on the website. And you can call in here, and everyone who's calling in is getting entered in to win a signed autographed copy of this book. And it is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. All right, so you know, a lot of times we think of these things for business purposes, you know, for the man out there. Let's talk about the men, because women, we resonate with this. We love all this. We eat it up. What about men? What are some of the A to Z's in there from A to Z that you might pick for a guy that you want to talk about right now?
Well, I will tell you, my son, who was helping me review the book, he said to me, he just texted me yesterday actually, he said, I love R is for responsibility. I really found this one to be useful. I don't know how much of the rest of the book he's read. I don't know if he just opened it up to R. And he's very busy, and I know he read E for elephants, which he didn't like as well. But that's okay. There's 26 topics. Everybody's going to find a topic that resonates with them.
R for responsibility equals what?
Well, do we know what we're responsible to and who we're responsible for? The whole discussion is about, do you have an understanding of your responsibility? Because we have a very skewed understanding, typically, of what we're responsible for. And we take over responsibility for people, which actually robs them of the ability to mature and take on their own life. And so it's a really concise description about who are you responsible for. There's a circle on one page. It's a blank circle. And on this page it says, write everything on here that you're responsible for. And then you turn the page and it goes, oops, I bet you put family and friends and everybody in the circle, didn't you? Because we're really responsible for ourselves.
I was just going
to
say
that. Our thoughts, our actions, who we actually be. We're just responsible for us and responsible to others.
Okay. What about relationships?
What about relationships?
Do you have something in there for that?
Well, being your best person is always the best thing for a relationship.
Okay. What else do you have? It doesn't matter. I'm just saying. I'm going through the alphabet right now.
Well, I did have a friend who just said to me, she said, I'm really having trouble unhooking some self-limiting beliefs and doing some things. What would you recommend for that? And I recommended for her affirmations, jettison the negative language, and the identify yourself. Because very often when we're having trouble unhooking things and feeling good about ourselves, we have all this negative self-talk going on. And weeds is kind of the same way too. Weeds is about you're trying to plant this beautiful garden of flowers and look around you. Oh my gosh, there's weeds. Did you know there were weeds? Why are you allowing them to be there? And what are those weeds?
I love that, the way you say that. And I'm now remembering that we talked about that the first time that I talked to you. It's so wonderful for people to, the best thing that we can do for ourselves and for others is to better ourselves.
Absolutely. Because you can't have successful relationships with people until you are your best version of you.
I love that.
As long as you are your best version of you, you're going to be having very great relationships.
Don't you love being able to pick something up, get something right away out of it, and I bet you anything that you can't wait to move on into the next chapter, because there might be from A to Z, there's something in that for everybody.
Well, it's interesting because one of the focus group members and a friend of mine, she has a short attention span. She describes herself as a sprinter and not a long distance runner. And which is true for all of us. I mean, we live in a very media frenzied, fast-paced world. That's why there's fast food places everywhere. We think we've got to hurry up and get something because we have no time. We have no time in our lives. There are so many demands on us. So for her to be this sprinter and not this long distance runner, I kept saying to her, hey, could you get me back the questionnaire? And she's like, it was overwhelming for her. It was just huge. It was overwhelming. It was like she looked at it and she goes, this is too many pages, this is too much. And so I said to her, I says, look it, you don't have to read the whole thing. I want you to read this topic and this topic. And then I want you to tell me how that goes. And then she was encouraged to read the whole thing.
You know what, guys? I love this, and I think everybody should at least think about going up on that website and taking a chance with yourself to change yourself. She said she can do it within 10 minutes.
10 minutes or less a day, 3 to 10 pages a day can help you shift your mindset, change your life. It's
Empowerment Principles with an S, A-to-Z.com. You can also ask her coaching questions right there on the website. Also, I'm going to let you call, well, let's give you another 5 or so minutes, and you're going to go ahead and get yourself entered in to win a signed autographed copy of the book. It's Empowerment Principles, A to Z. Be your greatest self, powerful and fully self-expressed. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100.
Live your life with passion.